so I'm not
They
sure.
changed her powers, though.
I absolutely hate Captain Marvel. Like, I like her character, but I'm not a big fan of that actress. She's just very meh.
Yeah.
You know what
why
I mean?
why is there this divide and such too? Like, you know, where it's trying to like make conflict between men and women. I hate, like, why is this narrative being pushed
because
into
we're
these
white
shows?
guys, and you know, if we speak bad or criticize a woman's acting ability, we'll just get canceled. So
Am I gonna get canceled?
It feels like the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku.
I want to win more and more and more.
Oh yeah, it's the champ. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Plastic Power Podcast. This is Starblast Studios alongside Daredevil 19 and Champ Animations. And today, guys, on this episode, we're gonna be today, guys, on this we're all just posing here.
The Ginyu posing.
Like the
Ginyu poses.
I don't know what we're doing. Today on this episode, we're going to be talking about the current state of the MCU, and we have a lot to say about this topic, with a lot of very passionate opinions on it. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead and, guys, just start us off here.
So, 2020
MCU is falling down, falling down, falling
They
down.
really are.
The MCU is falling down. Oh, God, Feige.
They're really crashing and burning. They're not just crashing, they're crashing and burning. I think the last thing I was personally interested in when they were showing the trailers, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta see it, was Moon Knight. Mm-hmm. And that came out, in 2020? And then before that, it was Spider-Man No Way Home. So really, besides that,
Moon Knight is
nothing else
underrated.
really
I love
interested
Moon Knight.
me. Yeah, Moon Knight's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of people hated the ending for that, though. Which it seems to be something that Marvel shows have been doing a lot lately. There's like a pattern where they start off really strong, and then their conclusion just sucks.
Except for
like a
Endgame.
firework that shoots
it's
off.
mostly, it's been the problem with like Phase 4, I think, and that's just like
they're still in Phase 4.
Oh no, they're in Phase 5 now.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, all right.
I don't know.
I don't even know what phase we're in.
Are you shaking your head at me? How dare you?
It's just
not
been
know?
like a bunch of multiverse stuff lately, and it's just like I'm so bored of it now.
Loki, I think Loki failed to capitalize on it too, because like I think Loki, like I remember when that show was airing, and like there was a lot of hype surrounding like, you know, what was gonna go on, because it also like, is that gonna tie into No Way Home? It kind of did seem like it was, but even though like No Way Home had its own thing going on. But I actually do like the story that they're telling with Kang. It's just all the other shows that they got going on right now, like that has been going on up until this point. They just haven't been good. She-Hulk just was an atrocity.
Oh God.
Like I absolutely like I really don't like.
I had no.
I liked the episodes, but then like the last one, that's where it just like it got so stupid, because it literally changed the viewpoint of every single episode. It doesn't make any sense from that point. It's not a good show.
And they threw Daredevil in it too.
They did.
Yeah. I hope his show turns out good, because it's going to be like 20-something episodes, and it's supposed to be
Well, hopefully they do a good job, because Kevin Feige fired all the writers.
Yeah.
And supposedly there was like a script leaked, and I guess Foggy and
Foggy.
What's her name? Foggy?
No, you said Foggy instead of Feige.
Foggy Nelson.
No, I'm
Matt
Foggy,
Murdock's
the
partner.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's an actual another
that's-
guy. I thought you were talking about Kevin Feige.
Well,
No.
well, he is talking about Kevin Feige, but it did sound like Foggy. What?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
that's what I was.
talking
Okay, that's what
about-
I thought. I was joking about that. Okay.
I
That's
was talking
Matt
about in
Murdock's
the
partner in
script
the
for
lawyer
Daredevil.
Okay.
Matt Murdock's partner, Foggy.
That is who you're talking about.
Yeah, that is what I'm talking about.
I thought you were saying Feige.
Keep up, boys.
Yeah,
Keep
like
up.
a little accent with it. I'm like, oh. All right, continue. What about
Foggy Nelson was gonna die in the Daredevil show, and I think what's her name, the blonde hair woman?
Yeah,
is it Karen? I don't remember.
Yeah, Karen Page is.
She would have died too, so Matt would have been on by himself.
I believe she does die in the comics from Bullseye, though. Bullseye.
I think so too. I think so.
And I really loved how they did Bullseye.
I would have been fine with that, to be honest. I don't mind.
Yeah,
But like
that triple threat that they had at the end of season 3 was just so awesome.
Bring back Bullseye. I want my Bullseye. I don't want a
Yeah.
reboot. I just want to continue.
That's
with
what it's supposed
that
to be.
story.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I heard
supposed
it was a reboot. It was going to be a complete reboot, which would have been stupid.
You know what? They are recasting everybody besides Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, and of course the guy Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, Daredevil.
Supposedly, because there's now a new show called Echo, which is, I guess, Kingpin's adopted daughter.
Who gives a
like?
It has like really good reviews, but I've never like heard of it.
I never even heard of this character except for in Hawkeye, and I never watched Hawkeye.
Me neither.
Yeah, same here.
I
I haven't
here.
seen it. I didn't
That's
care.
another show that didn't pique your interest to watch it.
But supposedly in the trailer of Echo, if you slow down, you see it looks like a shot of Daredevil fighting Echo. So
okay.
I feel like it's going to be like a She-Hulk thing where it's just going to be one episode of Daredevil and he might be watered down or something. But supposedly Echo's supposed to be have a mature rating, kind of like the Netflix Marvel series.
Yeah.
Which, God, I missed those when those came out.
Yeah,
Those were really something else.
That's how they're trying to keep this Daredevil new series, or the reboot. They're trying to keep it dark and gritty like how it was, because that's what people loved about it.
I actually do have some leaks I can talk to you about, that I just found out 10 hours ago before this, but we'll get into it later. I do want to talk about the other problems and such with the MCU. So so we're talking about the shows. Some of the shows are good, some of the shows are bad. She-Hulk really set a bad precedent, and a lot of the other shows that have really been coming out since then just really haven't piqued my interest, other than Loki. But I still haven't been able to see season 2 of Loki yet, so I'm just kind of stuck.
Oh, it's so good.
I heard it.
I never even finished season 1, but it was interesting.
Yeah, but the movies that came out, I think the movies had the biggest problem out of all of the other films, I think.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Except for Spider-Man No Way Home.
All right.
Except for Spider-Man. Well, I actually haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy. Is that one good?
That one's good.
I like Guardians of the Galaxy.
That big tearjerker too.
Okay,
That one was good.
So
that was James Gunn's ending to his 3 movies and leaving them. So
so I'm not even gonna count Guardians of the Galaxy. Not gonna talk about that. But the other movies, Thor: Love and Thunder, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I did not like. And I think
basically bringing up the new threat and then having him killed by ants
in a regular fist fight.
But bro, my whole
fist fight.
My whole thing was just how they treated MODOK. They really just tarnished him, and then they made him into a freaking joke. And it's it was.
I understand in the comics he is kind of like a weird character, but you could have made him more threatening. Maybe just go the AI route.
Here's how I see it. Here's how I see it. I'm not even necessarily I don't even necessarily see it as bad to make fun of him. You can make jokes with MODOK, that's good, but the humor just did not stick with me. It really wasn't good, and if anything, it actually just painted MODOK to be a pathetic character. That's what I think. The character writing for MODOK is what pissed me off the most. I think because it's just here's his entire character arc. He went from being a dick when working with Kang. One character says, "Don't be a dick," and then all of a sudden he works with them, and he's like, "Am I an Avenger now?" And then as he dies, "All right, you're an Avenger." Yeah, I'm done an Avenger. It's such a joke. I can't. Just talking about it right now just upsets me because of just how stupid it is, and that's the current state of a lot of the writing and such, because I think that the way that they handled the writing and such for the first part of Quantumania was actually really good, but then when they get into the second half of the movie, it really I think it really fell off. I don't know why that seems to be the case. They do such a good job of building up all this interest and wonder and setup and such for the quantum realm and such, from all of the previous movies, and then you actually go there and some stuff is interesting, some stuff is fun, but then it doesn't, I don't know why. It's you have all of this stuff around. It just doesn't seem as interesting as I think they really could have made it to. And, the Kang thing I thought was cool, the Kang storyline. But then, like you said, just have him get taken down by an army of ants because plot armor surrounds them, even though he has all these other powers to, evade the ants. He literally flies around. He doesn't have to stay on the ground when he sees the ants. He can just fly away. Why does he?
And Ant-Man beats him in a regular fist fight. What? Yeah, that movie I liked Love and Thunder a lot more than that. And Love and Thunder I thought was alright.
I really did not like Love and Thunder. It just it really,
I liked Gore in it. He was pretty cool.
The more that I thought about that movie, what I really didn't like about that movie, and this is what it comes down to, I really don't like the way that they went about Thor. Now with Thor, people like to compare this movie to the way that they went about Thor and Ragnarok. And I do like this, and I think that I understand that this is a valid comparison. The problem is that the joke, the humor that I think was in Ragnarok actually made Thor, like Thor actually had development, and he actually, the humor didn't degrade Thor. A lot of the humor here I think really did degrade Thor and make him like just, it made him out to be like a joke of the character. And it's with this narrative that I noticed that the MCU has just kind of been going out almost like it's pushing this agenda that men are trash and women are superior. And that's the thing that it's really been standing out, and I just can't stand watching.
Even the new movie, what is it, The Marvels, getting really bad reviews right now, and it's that's something that didn't interest me at all. I heard the Miss Marvel show is pretty good. I haven't watched it, so I'm not sure.
They changed her powers though.
I absolutely hate Captain Marvel. Like, I like her character, but I'm not a big fan of that actress. She's just very meh. You know what I mean?
Why is there this divide and such too? Like, you know, when we're trying to like make conflict between men and women. I hate, like, why is this narrative being pushed
because
into
we're
these
white
shows?
guys, and you know, if we speak bad or criticize a woman's acting ability, we'll just get canceled. So
am I gonna get canceled? No, I never really cared for her as an actor. Like Scarlett Johansson, I think, is great as Black Widow. Like, I actually liked her movie, Black Widow. I hated Eternals.
I never cared for it, to be honest, because
it's actually not bad. It just came out at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Waited too long. But because Taskmaster's dope as hell in it. But the Eternals, horrible movie. I did not like Eternals.
Yeah, really.
I don't know if either of you saw that.
The one thing I will say,
have you guys seen
the character, the Eternal with the super speed? It was so refreshing seeing the effects there, because I feel like way too often they handle speedsters, you just see them in slow mo. I actually like the depiction of how they show off a speedster actually like going super fast, because it makes that shit look like awesome. Oh yeah, Ezra Miller right there. Look at him. Him and his weird run. They do the same slow mo stuff with Quicksilver
he does
too.
That weird. I'm glad he's out as Flash. I prefer Grant Gustin so much more as Flash than Ezra Miller. Like,
his show wasn't perfect, but Grant Gustin really played Barry Allen.
Yeah. He did his research, and I don't think Ezra Miller really did his research too
No,
much.
he was playing the Reverse Flash, you know, choking people out in Hawaii and running from the cops.
Yeah. Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
He literally was, yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the early shows that came on
Winter
Disney
Soldier
Plus?
and Falcon?
Yeah,
I did
and
see
the
that.
WandaVision.
That wasn't
That
bad.
was all right.
I actually did
Yeah.
not mind that show. Although I just think that the ending was a little bit, you know, weird. Just like what they were. I don't know exactly what kind of message they were kind of trying to go for, because like something felt off about that show. It did towards the end.
It was the whole point of them calling like, "Hey, don't call these guys terrorists, even though they killed civilians and
and it's like
war."
And it's like
what?
And it's like
we gotta stop with these labels.
And he's telling him like, you need to do
Then
better.
what are you gonna call them?
And it's like he's saying you need to do better. Look what you're causing these people to do. And it's like you can't.
I didn't like, to be honest.
It doesn't make any
like...
sense. I need to cut a promo on this. It doesn't make any sense, because they like Thanos snapped out half of humanity. The other half suddenly comes back. They don't have the same amount of resources to be able to help all of, like, you know, the majority of humanity right there than they did with like that they did before the snap. So it's like, of course this stuff is gonna happen. Of course you're gonna have problems. You can't just blame it on one guy and say you need to do better. You need to step it up. Like, there needs to be multiple people involved to help out.
But what I don't like is that Captain America as a superhero, he is basically the like. I don't want to say the perfect American.
Steve Rogers.
He still has his flaws. Yeah. Well, just the hero in general, even Bucky Barnes or Falcon.
Yeah.
Them as Captain America, they're supposed to be portraying as, you know, treating everyone as equal. And I just didn't like of Captain America pointing the finger saying, "It's your fault. Do better." I don't know. That just doesn't scream Captain America. But I understand it's like what Falcon represents is that, you know, he's representing the African Americans and, you know, society.
Like
and
that one soldier that he saw in it. I did like that.
What it actually shows.
The guy didn't like him at first.
What it actually.
But again, it's also like finger pointing, and it's like it's like he doesn't need to do better. We need to do better. If he said we need to do better as like saying we all need to, I would have
you.
Instead it just feels like pointing fingers and victim blaming or whatever. It's just I don't know, it just put me off. Like, I think it's a decent show, even WandaVision, although that ending, with the Ralph Boner joke and
I didn't mind that. You know what? Like I wasn't because like I understood like people were hyped up for him.
Kind of the joke was not good, and I would have preferred they not use that
Yeah.
actor at all.
Yeah.
With the whole Quicksilver thing. But
yeah.
I feel like
Jeffrey
if you took him
Dahmer.
out, the show would have still been good. I just feel like he's kind of like I don't know. It just kind of messes up the
They
story.
probably wanted to use him because he was one of the best things about the last few X-Men movies. I mean, he really was. And he was great as Jeffrey Dahmer as well.
But I like that they were kind of
Yeah.
experimenting. They were kind of going with this kind of like psychological, not thriller, but it was kind of like messing with your head. And like they
Yeah,
were
it was
doing this
different.
kind of like old comedy kind of thing and showing how she wanted this perfect life. But then they go and mess it up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, where her character arc kind of goes from this anti-villain to just
did make
full-on
her-
villain.
I
They did
actually
make her
no,
very
I actually
scary,
I
yeah.
actually have a disagree with that because the entire aspect of her like from WandaVision was to show off like that the fact that she is a hurt character and that she was selfish. Like what she did to the people in that town was just it was inherently
But she goes from holding a town hostage by accident, actually, to wanting to kill Miss America Chavez, who's a kid. She was basically to the point from going to 0 to 100, and it feels like we're missing something in the middle, like a movie or something.
it's
just to
the
build up
it's
to
the
her
effects
turn.
of the effect of the book that she got from Agatha. She became look like this is
They like warped her mind.
and not only that, but it's like she grew an attachment to those kids that she saw in WandaVision. Billy and I don't remember the other kid. And like she
two kids.
she genuinely like felt like what she could have them. But then and that was like that to me is like enough of a plot thread combined with the book that messed with her like way of thinking that made her into like the right villain, because even at the beginning she was trying to like I guess be cordial and such as much as she could, but obviously it didn't really work out, and it
And
caused...
she was portrayed as a villain most of the time in the comic books as well. So
True. I don't know. I just feel like there should have been more build up, to be honest. I just feel like there should have been something in the middle to, kind of show her turning to the dark side. It just kind of felt like a 180 kind of. I mean, at least to me.
They hinted at her like in the dark side too, like at the end of WandaVision, I think, when you saw like one projection of her like outside the cabin and then her inside, just like spooky reading book while floating type of scene in the background, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I see your point. Like you want to feel like there's a
I wanted a
transition.
little bit more. It feels like you gotta have that episode 2 Anakin and then the episode 3 Anakin where he goes into full Vader.
I get you.
Yeah.
Actually, you need the episode 3 Anakin. That's what it needs. She went from episode 2 Anakin to A New Hope Darth Vader. I'm like, where's episode 3?
But I did
Where's
like
that
how they
turn?
treated her like a horror villain, though. That was kind of
I did.
That
like
was
that,
a cool.
and that's all because of Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's a freaking amazing director, bro. Like the way that he did all the shots and the
Yeah.
horror stuff.
Yeah,
that was great.
He started off with like those Evil Dead movies, right?
Yeah, he made those
yeah.
like in college with his buddy, his best buddy, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. And one more thing, I just want to go back to Winter Soldier and Falcon. One thing I did really like was when Kurt Russell's son was Captain America, and he like kind of broke and literally killed someone with the shield, and then you see the blood on the shield. I was like,
That was
man,
dope.
that's-
U.S.
Yeah,
agent.
that I liked, because
USA.
it's like you should never really see blood like that on Captain America's shield and murder somebody with it too. So, but yeah, so let's continue forward now. Like the Doctor Strange multiverse, I enjoyed, but I thought it was going to be more of like a mind movie, and it really wasn't at all. That's how they tried to like play it off, as that it was going to be some crazy type of like magical Doctor Strange type universe movie, but it really wasn't like that. But I still enjoyed it overall as a movie. It wasn't.
I don't
the
think
best,
it's like the
worst
worst
to me.
movie, but it definitely has some hiccups. Where
Oh,
it's
you
like
said it
at
wasn't.
It's not the worst movie, but I think it's
but-
like there are major like at the end when he's talking to Miss America Chavez, and he's like, "You have the power inside you all along. You got the touch."
Another cool thing
you
was
got
watching.
the power.
Another cool thing was watching Scarlet Witch fight the other universe's version of the Avengers. What were they called? The Illuminati or something?
Yeah,
But I
it
feel
was,
like she killed him off.
But
too
I feel like
quickly.
that was just a cameo.
That
so,
was,
like,
I'm gonna be honest,
pretty much,
that was
yeah.
just like freaking dumb. The way, like they paint Mr. Fantastic to be like he is super intelligent, and then the moment that he confronts Wanda is like Black Bolt can,
like-
Black Bolt can,
Yeah,
Black
that
Bolt
was
can just
stupid.
instantly exist. Like it
This
is.
guy
The more
can
you
kill
think about
you
it,
by the sound of his voice. So she's
Not
like,
even
all
that,
right.
but I feel like
he can just with
because
the
in
one
the
wisp of his mouth,
I
it's
feel
like,
like
what
in
now?
I feel like
Just
in the
gives it
X-Men
away.
comics, Professor Xavier would have.
The
He
upper
should
hand?
be able to take on Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, they
So
should
the
have had
fact
more of
that-
a mind battle. They
Yeah,
definitely should have.
he should be able to put up a decent fight. It just seemed like he just got instant kill and just. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and I was like,
that-
what the?
I'm like, she's a mutant in the comics, so
Yeah.
he should be able to handle her. Like
At
it's
least
so
hold
weird.
her off a little bit longer than how quickly she just instantly killed.
Are we
him. I
just
was
doing
like,
the trend
"Jeez."
of killing Xavier in every movie? Because like we've been doing that.
Yeah,
since
that's right.
X-Men 3. We've been doing that since
Logan.
X-Men 3.
Logan
Logan.
2, X-Men 3, and now this movie. What
Days
other
of Future
movies you want to
Past.
kill him in? All right, so let's continue. The only good thing from 2020 is when No Way Home came out, right? Because that's when it was kind of. That's when the MCU pretty much
think
did
so,
their whole
yeah.
big
I think it
thing.
came out in 2021.
Okay,
No,
so
2021. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that, 'cause
yeah.
That's when I started my new job.
all right, because Black Widow came out then, right? Because Black Widow and Eternals came out the same time, I think, as No Way Home, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe a little bit earlier, like earlier in the year, but that's when like COVID hit. So that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
Really
Because I
damaged
think
those
that's when
movies.
Black Widow came out and Eternals, but No Way Home, or you were good to go back into theaters.
Yeah,
So
that was
when
that
they
was late in
kinda-
December 2021.
Yeah, that's when the MCU was kind of like this. You didn't know if they were gonna go up or down. And,
They're still
and
like
they're-
that. That's the
Yeah, they are, and a lot of their stuff does not really interest me. Like I said, the last thing I was really hyped about seeing was Moon Knight, which I think was 2022. No Way Home was the end of 2021. Those were the two main things that I really wanted to watch. Secret Wars, I still kind of want to check out because it got like good reviews. Everybody said it was good, but I never got around to
Oh,
watching
Secret
it.
Invasion, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Secret Wars.
I
Yeah,
haven't even
Secret
seen that.
Yeah,
I'm-
supposedly that's really good.
I think what was the last thing I saw? I feel like the last thing I saw was Ant-Man and the
She-Hulk.
Wasp. Oh wait, was she? What came like what's the most
No,
recent
She-Hulk
one?
was first, then Ant-Man was after that.
Okay, yeah, the last
'Cause
thing I saw was
Ant-Man
Ant-Man.
came out with Guardians of the Galaxy 3
Yeah,
that
yeah,
same year.
yeah. That's what it was.
And I forgot what the other movie was. that
I
came
feel
out.
like now it's like I don't really go watch these movies in the theater or even on Disney Plus anymore. Like
Yeah.
before, like before Endgame, I remember going to the theater all the time, watching every single movie except
Yep.
for Captain Marvel. But it's because
Yeah, same here.
But it's not because she's a woman. It's because I never really cared for the character in the comics either. So I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
really
same.
wanted. I didn't really care for all that cosmic
here's
stuff. or
here's
whatever.
here's my thing. Like before I even before we even got like a Captain Marvel live action movie, or we even had a hint of Captain Marvel in the MCU, I knew who Captain Marvel was, and this was from like a long time ago, from like the thing that Death Battle did between her and Android 18.
And wasn't she an alcoholic too? In
No.
that? Didn't they say she?
I don't
she was, like,
remember.
an
I don't
alcoholic?
remember. I don't
She
think
had a drinking
it
problem or
matters.
something. Because I remember watching that too. What you're talking
No,
about.
but like I knew about the character from there, and it's just like I also saw like a bunch of stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, Captain Marvel's a cool character. She's like she has like these dope powers. She's powerful. You
Yeah.
can put her on par with a bunch of like cool things. All right, that's dope. Brie Larson comes around. I don't really like Brie Larson's like the way that she acts and such like off camera. I feel like on camera when she's not like acting, I feel like she comes off very arrogant, and there's a lot of people that I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that really just don't like her.
Watch it, Heash. You're gonna get canceled.
Oh
Watch
my
it.
God.
I mean, it is true though. She does come off very arrogant, and I know some people are like, "That's how Captain Marvel is." I mean, in a way, she probably is, but she just comes off way too arrogant. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Ish.
Like which
Yeah.
which
I mean-
I'm not gonna get into all the details behind that. That's its whole.
Yeah.
That's its whole.
I
Like,
think
it
for
is
me,
cool
the
seeing
biggest
her-
reason. I think for me, the biggest reason I don't like Captain Marvel is because I remember in the what was it? The comic event Marvel was having, Civil War 2, where there was like a moment where Miles saw the future and he saw a dead Captain America at his feet.
Miles.
Miles Morales.
Yeah, part 2.
At this point in time, Miles.
What are you
already
talking about?
Shifted over to the 6-0. I'm talking
Civil
about
War 2.
Civil War 2 in the comics.
In the comic
in the
books.
comics.
In the
Okay, I thought you were
comics.
like,
Yeah.
where's Miles Morales in the MCU?
You're
What are you
like,
talking
wait,
about?
I need to see this.
Not MCU, in the comics.
Okay.
In the 616 comics. Basically, Miles and everyone had a vision that Captain America was dead in Washington and Miles was standing over his dead body. No one knew what was going on. Miles was freaking out and Captain Marvel was like, all right, Miles, I'm taking you into custody. I'm like, why? He didn't do anything. He's like, yeah, we're just arresting you because you might kill Cap. I don't know.
That comes out more
stupid.
racist.
And guess what happened? No, he did not kill Captain America. So even though at that point in time, I think he was part of Hydra, but you know.
That seems so silly. That seems so freaking silly. Like, I'm so sorry. But what you actually did.
I think he was brainwashed, but I think that was a whole different like writing team because they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't make him part of the Nazis.
But it's interesting because now thinking about it, I think that could have been what they were referencing when it came to Tony Stark's dreams in like of what happens in Endgame.
Well, this came out after Age of Ultron, unless you're saying the comics are referencing that movie.
Oh, okay, maybe that. I don't remember the order. Okay, so like, well, I don't know the order.
The Civil War 2 comic came out after Age of Ultron.
Okay, that probably is referencing
Maybe
Age.
that's
which is not to
where
be
they got
confused
the
with the comic Age of Ultron. Which sounds even more,
Wait, but
badass.
no. The dreams that isn't the dreams that Tony Stark had. That wasn't in Age of Ultron. That was in Iron Man 3.
Age of Ultron, yeah. Remember
No,
Scarlet
Age of Ultron.
Witch?
That was Scarlet Witch. Giving him the visions that Thanos and his.
But I could have
people
sworn
were
he was
coming
having like the nightmares and such in Iron Man 3.
Well, in Iron Man 3, he had PTSD and nightmares about the first Avengers movie when he was fighting the Shikari.
Okay.
When he was going up in space. Yeah, he did have nightmares about that, but not about anything else forward.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm probably.
That's where they kind of set up the whole him making Ultron thing, which I still kind of don't like, but you know.
You also heard that they're trying to bring him and Scarlet Witch back as Black Widow for something.
They were going to bring back Captain America.
Wait,
Rogers.
they're trying to make.
Yeah.
For like another Black Widow movie. Like which?
No, they're trying to bring them back for an Avengers, right? Chad?
Like a light reboot.
Oh, and Black Widow. Okay, I thought you said
And then-
Black Widow. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
okay.
trying. They both might come back for something, and then I keep
like a
seeing,
soft reboot.
Yeah, and I keep seeing something about how Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is going to lead
For Secret Wars.
Yeah, I don't know if that's real or not. I mean, that's interesting.
Honestly,
that
I would
piques my interest.
Honestly, I would just like a well-contained story like they had with Endgame. Actually, that's the biggest problem right now. The biggest problem is that they're trying to do another Endgame. They're trying to do another Infinity War, and it's too soon. We don't even have an actual villain threat yet, and they're already starting. It's Feige and everyone at Marvel.
You know what it is?
Replacing Kang with Doctor Doom.
It's a gigantic. No, you know what it is? It's a gigantic mess. Because they actually, if they were to build here's how it all starts. You're supposed to build off the premise and the storyline of one movie. That's how Iron Man starts, and then it's like, and then they build off of Iron Man. Right now, the issue is that they're making so many different storylines that they can't even form any like a series with cohesion. They're leaving Easter eggs as to like what they're gonna build up at like the end of episodes and such, right? But they're not. They don't actually have they're lacking a plan. One thing that I actually was interested in, Shang-Chi: Legend of the Ten Rings, one of the greatest MCU movies, I think, in my opinion. I actually was really interested in the story that they're gonna tell with the rings. But as far as I know, and it's like they haven't even done anything with that, like where that's even gonna lead to. I was assuming that they were gonna build up to Fing Fang Foom because it makes sense. It's like because they're not because like what's a character with fingers big enough for those rings to then be rings? I think it makes sense for it to be a character like that and such.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
I didn't watch Shang-Chi. I
Bro,
saw
there's Dragon Ball references in there.
I watched the scene when my parents were watching it, and he was talking about his backstory when he was a kid and how his father was like, you know, mentally abusing him and stuff like that and making him train every day. And then all of a sudden there's like a airline waiter or whatever come by and he's like, do you want peanuts? I'm like, you just ruined the story. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, no, the humor is the humor in that is like misplaced. But the thing that I do like genuinely about the overall movie, and I guess James doing something, is that like it doesn't feel like a typical MCU movie. It doesn't feel like a typical MCU movie. It actually kind of has like its own tone going on and its own like, you know, sort of like, you know, side story. It feels like like something that you would see like an Eastern martial arts movie type of thing up until the very end, in which like when they have like the villain, like the big old monster at the end, then it starts kind of feel like a Marvel like thing. But I really like the entire like, you know, story overall between Shang and his and his dad. And his father. I just don't feel like that villain towards at the very end was like the most necessary. I think just because like it really, I think I liked it when the actual conflict was between, you know, those two characters finding the resolution. The moment that it starts like, you know, shifting towards like, you know, it being like a kaiju battle like or whatnot towards the end, that's when it's like the battle is no longer the same conflict of characters that entices me and such, when they're all just like
still did look pretty cool, the kaiju battle.
I mean sure, yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing though. That's the thing with Marvel movies and shows, is that by the third act they decide to like go full on CGI monster, crazy energy beam, buildings explode. What I just kind of want a more
like Civil War.
No, like
Daredevil.
Well, yeah, Captain America: Civil War and Daredevil, where it's just like two guys in an isolated location hashing out their beef with each other. It's personal. It's contained.
Yep.
We've seen their development. We've seen their relationship. How these two either hate each other or
just like
apart.
just like the ending with Captain America and Red Skull, or Iron Man versus Ironmonger, like all of these.
Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Captain America versus Winter Soldier. These types of movies where it's like it's the conflict of characters that it's like by introducing that kaiju at the end, it destroys that conflict that it was just building up that you wanted to see the resolution to. So it would. It would have been
every superhero movie should not feel like a major like Infinity War Endgame movie. It should feel like a Spider-Man movie, if anything. It should feel more grounded and more personal. Instead, we got to keep raising the stakes and have huge armies fighting each other and the end of the universe and look at me, I'm the all-powerful cameo. That's basically what the MCU has devolved into.
Pretty much,
I just don't care for it now, like as I used to when growing up.
Because it's oversaturated. They did the same exact thing with the ending of Moon Knight, that like, you know, Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, and like
they had the huge,
and then the Eternals too. What the fuck? There's a damn hand or like a head of a celestial sticking out the earth, and no one's saying anything about it. The stakes are just like so freaking high. Like, stop doing the stakes so high. Like, keep the stories grounded. We like it better that way.
Yeah, nobody mentions that huge head and hands sticking out of the goddamn earth, out of the ocean.
I don't like. That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, you see, like Kevin Feige, he's apparently like, you know, keeping everything, you know, tied together. He has a plan. There is no plan. All the writers are doing their own shit, and they're causing like, you know, a lot of like misdirections and like lack of cohesion and such with the studio.
What I also notice is they keep holding off stuff we really freaking want, like X-Men, Blade, Fantastic Four. Like, what the hell?
Oh my god, the Blade movie is in hell right now. It's in development hell right now because I think they also had to fire the writers for that because they were going to make Blade a fourth main character. He would have been a supporting character and the main character would have been a female lead.
Bruh.
So Blade would not be a main lead in his own movie.
Oh, come on.
And I'm like, what? That's stupid.
Look at Starblast.
Now that's just speculation. I keep hearing that on different sides.
I'm gonna tell you
but supposedly that's what happened, and I hear that and it's like, why?
Okay,
Yeah.
it's funny though that you did mention the X-Men because that does have a little bit to do with the info I got. So
continue on.
Okay,
sir.
I'll just you're okay with it. You're okay with me telling you. Okay, there's gonna be spoilers in this video. Okay, I haven't seen the Marvels, but there's a mid-credit scene where they featured the X-Men coming back.
Thank God.
Okay,
God.
that's all I got for you.
The only good thing from the movie.
Okay, yeah, well, Geekdom did a video on it on his second channel. There's a good amount of info. Like he goes
Is it
more in
gonna
depth
play
in
the
that.
'90s theme while we see like an X-Men logo and go?
I have no idea. That would be
Did
dope.
they show any characters?
I haven't watched the video. I was just talking to him a little.
100%, it's gonna be a logo and it just has an X. And it'd be like,
Yo,
X-Men!
But I'm curious, are they going to try to keep that same cast? Because now they have Hugh Jackman kind of reprising his role in a way, and if that other thing's true...
Well,
with
he's
him and
only going to
Tobey
be in the
Maguire.
Deadpool 3 movie, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's it.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably
So-
going to go with a new cast, to be honest.
They really have to. Hugh Jackman's also starting to get up there. I mean, he's not like super old,
That
but
and
he's
he
gonna
has
start
like
getting up
he
there in
also
age.
has like health problems. He's like still fighting with skin cancer.
Oh
So
man,
that's why.
Yeah.
That's why you see that supposedly.
Oh yeah, that he's wearing the
supposedly
long
that's
sleeves.
why.
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
because the sun and everything. But
Mhm.
No,
honestly, that's the only film that I'm really looking forward to is
Yeah.
Deadpool 3, because I've always
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
see Deadpool and Wolverine live action beating the hell out of each other while Deadpool's making jokes and like, it's like, I love it.
Does that comes out next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been delayed because all of the strikes
Writer
going on in
strikes, yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah.
So
oh yeah, that did delay it.
it might be on pause at the moment.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which paused Blade as well, and who knows what's happening with X-Men, and then Fantastic Four has been in the works for like 20 years now.
I heard that the strike
No,
has
it-
ended, but I don't know how it resolved. How did the strike resolve?
I know the writers strike, they were able to come to an agreement, but the actors they're still in negotiations, and supposedly the studios, once again, they said, we're going to give you one final offer. I know the last time we gave you a final offer, but this one's going to be a final offer.
There's another final offer.
Basically, so it's still, right now, it's Hollywood is just,
It's different. But continuing with MCU stuff for X-Men, what are 3 or maybe 5 characters, 3 or 5 characters you really want to see in this X-Men movie?
I already know you want to see Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit's
Okay.
one of them.
I would want to see Wolverine, but that's not realistic. So Cyclops, let's see Cyclops. Let's
Yeah,
see
yeah.
like Rogue probably, because I do like the thing is
A more proper Rogue.
we have
yes.
yet to see them do Dark Phoenix correctly, and I really, really hope that they can do that. So yeah, obviously have Rogue in there. Maybe Beastman. Beastman makes the most amount of sense to like have in there as well.
Beastman or Beast?
Sorry, Beast.
Just
Yeah,
Beast?
yeah, Beast. Well, sorry, I don't know why I said Beastman.
Beastman.
Okay,
Did they change? There's that new character.
and then
I want to see a better Sabretooth too.
Sabretooth is dope. But like maybe the last one, I guess Storm. Storm makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see a Jubilee, a proper Jubilee actually this time. Yeah, Gambit definitely, a Rogue.
I would actually do. I want to see a new Rogue, because I think
Yeah.
there's a part in the comics and the TV show where she touches Captain Marvel, and she like puts her in a coma, and she like gets the powers of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's like super strong and can fly. I didn't know that until years ago, but like that'd be kind of cool if you ever wanted just to write off Brie Larson for a little bit.
Just let Rogue take over for a bit. But
I
yeah,
mean, it would make sense though if you wanted to bring a few X-Men characters to the MCU. Who better yet than Rogue?
I remember in the animated series, she was always super strong all the time, and they just made her like so weak. In
Can
the
we bring
original
the
movies.
Can we bring in the X-Men Evolution goth Rogue? I'm just saying, like, like I don't know. Maybe that started something when I was young. Like just something about that.
No, but there's just so many X-Men characters that I know a lot of people are dying to see, and they did Gambit so dirty.
I think
all the X-Men
having
movies.
Rogue, Gambit, and then possibly Cyclops, and then like maybe go with those kind of characters. Characters
Yeah.
we haven't really seen that much, to be honest.
Colossus would be a good one too, because we've only
I can kind of see it, but they also have him in a lot in the Deadpool
Here's
movie.
here's
Yeah, now they
here's
do,
what they
yeah.
gotta do. Here's what they gotta do. they have to start off small. I don't want a big cast of X-Men
Yeah.
characters because they can't flesh out their arcs. They have to start off with a small cast. I think 5 is actually just the right amount. Like,
Do
obviously,
a first class kind of thing. Do the first class kind of story.
you could do that,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think obviously,
something like
you know,
that, yeah.
Charles Xavier is like would have to be in there too. But like obviously
Yeah,
make
you
it.
would have to.
Yeah, you have to have that, and then you know Magneto in a sense. But I don't know how they're gonna do that.
I would say actually don't even go with Magneto. I would say there's other villains you explore that we haven't seen in the original X-Men, like Mr.
better-
Sinister.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom.
That would be a good villain.
Doctor Doom, we could see for Fantastic Four.
That's true, yeah.
I know they've been talking about. Here's the thing with Doctor Doom, and a lot of people don't know, like, who don't read the comics. Doctor Doom is a smart dude who practices science and magic.
Yeah.
And it'd be very interesting to maybe, if you wanted to make Doctor Doom the big bad, because honestly he is in the Marvel universe, like he many times taken on the Avengers, X-Men, everyone, even in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance he basically reached God. So like
God mode. Yeah.
yeah,
God
so
Doom.
like
Yeah.
if you wanted to do that, you can also tie into his past where dealing with Mephisto, Doctor Strange. If you wanted to have maybe a cameo or something to hype up that character, you could probably squeeze that into Doctor Strange 3 if you ever make one. But the thing is, they keep making Doctor Strange 3 too big. Like, it was like, oh, the end of the multiverse.
Yeah.
Let's maybe tie it back and let's go into either finish up the Mordo thing, because I don't know why we've totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
No, did it?
Talk
Oh yeah,
about
that's
it.
right. Because there was
Oh,
like this whole off-screen thing with like, oh, there's actually ended up being some stuff good that happened with Mordo. Like, what? Yeah, what?
yeah,
That,
like we just
Why did they drop
get
that?
told off it. So like either do something like that, or maybe you can dive into more realms like Mephisto's realm. Go into Ghost Rider, you know, because we kind of had a little bit of Ghost Rider.
I love Ghost Rider. Get him in
We
here.
had Ghost Rider a little bit in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but here's the thing, that's not canon anymore.
Yeah.
So we need a new Ghost Rider. Either it's Johnny Blaze or who's the second one? I forget.
I don't know. Johnny
Yeah,
Blaze is the
second
only one
two.
that matters.
I think the second one
Yeah.
was Danny.
Don't get
something, but then
Nicolas
there's
Cage.
Yeah, there was Johnny Blaze. There was someone named Danny.
How did
I
the cat
forget,
get
and
back
then
in your
there's-
room? I'm so sorry. How did he? I thought you took him.
Oh, that's the orange one. That's Milo over there.
Oh, okay.
I have
Like,
two
he's the
cats.
chill one.
No, he's the bad one.
Oh,
That one's
no.
the bad one.
You're like,
But
I
he's
didn't even
most-
know he was in here.
But he keeps quiet most of the time, and he's just
Yeah.
chilling in my laundry basket. But anyway, like I would like to see more of the dark horror, like because they're kind of tapping into that a little bit with Marvel. They had the what is it, Werewolf by Midnight or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch that. I need to watch that, but I think that had
Like a horror.
I don't want to say swap thing. I think man thing, which that's confusing.
Yeah, man thing.
But
Man thing, swap thing. They're cousins.
But I would like to dive in, and they even mention it. I don't know how far you are into Loki, but slight minor spoilers. They mention werewolves and vampires in the TVA, so I would like to see vampires. I would like to see demons and hellspawns. I would like to see.
They
more
haven't
of
delved
that.
into that much. You're right. They haven't. And Ghost Rider's a big
Instead,
part
we're
of that.
going with
Blade is a
these-
big part of that.
Yeah, instead we're going with outer space, cosmic beings, gods. I was like, no, let's go with the dark stuff. They kind of do a little bit of that with Doctor Strange and everything, but I want more of the dark horror aspects of Marvel.
They should jump a little more into that. I think it might bring a lot of people who love the MCU to begin with back into it instead of what they've been trying to do, which hasn't been doing too good, which is what this whole podcast episode is about.
They need us really scale back to the also like Punisher, Daredevil, street level superheroes and vigilantes that aren't out there, going across countries, fighting aliens or saving the world 24/7. They're like taking care of the local neighborhoods, and like Spider-Man, like even Spider-Man, like his last movie was kind of like cosmic, end of all the multiverse, which Spider-Man, he's like a gray area. He takes care of that, but he also takes care of his New York. So he's kind of in the middle with that. But I don't want any more of that. If they ever do a Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland again, I want it more grounded, and if you do bring in Daredevil, that'd be cool.
To me, in my head canon,
team up.
I'm gonna be honest. To me, in my own head canon, I don't feel like we're gonna see Spider-Man at least until Secret Wars, because it makes sense that he has the symbiote in Secret Wars, since that's exactly what happened in the comics.
Well, here's the thing.
That's why they dropped that little bit of symbiote.
The way in No Way Home with the end credit of Venom or of Eddie.
Exactly. That's where it'll pay off.
I hope so, unless he gets to the comic way where he just goes into a room and finds a machine and he just...
Yeah, and Tom Holland said he wanted to take a break, too, from playing Spider-Man for a little bit, so maybe that is what he's waiting.
Maybe do a time skip with Spider-Man, Maybe have
it's like, no, this actually kind of... I'm going to be honest, this did somewhat bother me. The other thing that Tom Holland said, not just necessarily about taking a break with Spider-Man, he said that he wants the next Spider-Man movie to somehow be even better. How you listen? Like, we already did like a lot of stuff, but with that I think is like gonna be iconic and gonna be remembered for a very long time. When you get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and such in the same
very
movie,
nostalgic.
You're not going the bar is already so high. You cannot. It's not a good idea to try to say I'll come back if they make a better movie. You can't do. I don't feel like you can do very much better than that, buddy.
Not even that, but think about this. Other even the video games, Spider-Man PS4 and PS5, those feel like movie quality stories, and it's really hard to top something. Because honestly, I love the stories in those games, and it's like, how are you going to do something that's I would prefer in this kind of medium, and I can play as him and watch it and experience it. How are you going to top that in a movie?
They need to bring in symbiote suit Spider-Man.
But the thing is, symbiote Spider-Man is so overdone, and it's like it feels like it's always a last resort.
Well, we've only got it once in the movies, and it was kind of a bit of
but it's so oversaturated in other properties. We've seen it in tons of cartoons, comics,
but I mean, video
games.
How can you one up that No Way Home? You know what I mean? Unless it's
I know. Here's the thing: if I was Sony and Marvel, and if you wanted to keep telling these Spider-Man stories with Tom Holland, or keep going with this weird universe you keep creating with Morbius and
Kraven.
Vulture and all these weird things. And
Kraven. Oh,
Kraven.
Yeah, that movie's coming out
Then
soon.
you know what? Stick to your guns and put out a Sinister Six. But here's the thing,
dude. Matt Gargan.
You have to have
Scorpion.
Spider-Man.
Scorpion would be a great villain. They haven't done that yet. He's a cool villain.
You have J. Jonah Jameson. You have J.K. Simmons back.
Yes, the bounty.
Do a Scorpion story.
That would be great. That would be great. Yeah, because what happened in the comics was that J. Jonah Jameson hired the Scorpion to go and capture Spider-Man.
Okay. I was like, wait, what does it have to do with him?
Yeah.
And you just answered it.
Yes.
But yeah, Scorpion was always one of a top tier villain that Spider-Man always fought with, and a real popular villain as well. I mean, he wasn't the top one, but he was always a pretty big one that fans loved seeing, and he was always
and he left a big effect and such. In the Spider-Man games, the PlayStation games, because of how he makes him the poison that affects him and makes him see all this stuff, similar to Mysterio, but on a different level, which I think would is another interesting way to make Peter tap into his psychology and such with being Spider-Man in a similar way. I feel like that would be a genuinely good movie and such, because I feel like it's such a good idea for a movie like this in the state that Spider-Man's at, where he doesn't have the same gadgets, no one knows who he is, he doesn't really have a life, and all he's being is Spider-Man, is that he has to be at a
regular suit.
He has to be at a really continuous confliction with himself and such about how he's living out his life, and how the world doesn't really know him or appreciate him the same way. How it's almost like Spider-Man would be a coping mechanism to the life that Peter Parker has, which is really, if no one remembers Peter Parker, then you're not really having a good life. I don't think you're not really it's it kind of sucks. I think it would be a great way to paint Peter's life to be absolutely horrible and such to get which would make for development
in the original trilogy. Like he always was having a lot of trouble with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And you'd feel bad for him a lot. You're like, geez, this guy keep getting dragged through the shit. So I definitely agree with something like that. That would be interesting to see, and then have Scorpion as the villain. They really do need to kind of get back to the basics, but not super basic-y. But
yeah, I don't want another origin story for the 5th time.
No, we don't need that.
The whole trilogy was his origin story.
Yeah, the last few minutes, you're like, holy crap, that was his origin story. So now, start him off as like a street hero, like what Champ's been saying, like what Daredevil is, like what Punisher is.
Cut the ties from the Avengers. They seem like they're going that route,
Mm-hmm.
and I like how in No Way Home they didn't really mention the Avengers out that much. That's what I want. Keep him.
I always felt like he
wasn't
wasn't Spider-Man, like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I always felt like he was in.
So I just found
big.
this out. This might be a rumor, but what I've heard is that Kevin Feige's original plan after, Tony, Captain America, and Black Widow were gone, the new faces of the Avengers were going to be Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel. Black Panther taking the role of Captain America, Captain Marvel taking the role of Thor and Black Widow, and Spider-Man taking the role of Iron Man.
Yeah.
That is itself a terrible idea, because these guys don't need to be like these other characters. They're their own characters and can, show that they can do other, it's just
no, I understand what he means. Like he wants them to like be the face and such at the end, but like even
be the face, but like they don't have to be.
They're their own characters. Yeah, would Shuri, I guess, still be Black Panther? I'm wondering.
No, because I think because the original plan was to have Chadwick Boseman, and that didn't work out, unfortunately.
Yeah. And they did tease like his son at the end of it. So,
but that's not. I feel like that was just really just ignite hope, because they're not gonna to show off the next generation of people, And then
there's still
that's not gonna work.
Ironheart
That's not gonna
series.
work out.
There's still the Ironheart series that they're gonna
which
do.
is
I thought she was all right.
She was all right, but like to be honest, it's like the whole thing with Ironheart. Again, it's not. It has nothing to do with the character being female. It's just I want to like you end up running into like this area where you supposedly meet Ironheart, and all they are is just like a genius. You don't see exactly like how they built stuff up, and like they didn't do something like that with Tony Stark. Well, it's just like we already understood that from what Tony Stark did. He's a multi-billionaire. He's a genius. You see exactly what he does to get himself out of the situation when he gets captured by the terrorists. You also see the results and such of him working with the military and how that effect has on the rest. You actually see more important stuff. Like if you just introduce a female character and such, and all of a sudden they have all of these things that they can just sort of do without any setup or without any stuff. It just comes off like a Mary Sue, which isn't good, I think, for your story. I don't think.
You know something I'm surprised they haven't done yet. Maybe they will do it in the what was that one series they said Armor Wars?
Armor
War Machine
Wars.
Rhodey.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna go this route, but I believe in the comics, the Secret War comic, Rhodey actually took over the mantle of Iron Man, I believe. So I wonder if they could go that route, but then I know Don Cheadle's really old, so I know he probably doesn't want to keep playing War Machine.
I think he's like 54. And
Yeah,
Kevin Hart was
so-
like, damn! And he looked at him like, are you kidding me? But it was a joke. They're both in on it.
But I don't know. It's I feel like there's missed opportunity if they had more of a roadmap after Endgame. There's so many things you could have done that could have been tied back to the comics of instead of Spider-Man being the new Iron Man, you could have just had War Machine take over the mantle. He could have been the new Iron Man because he knows the suit better than anyone, and would be like a Iron Patriot. Can't believe they wasted that in the third film. I'm so mad they did that. He's like, wow, you blew your load so quick.
Was
I think
it?
before it was Mandarin people are most upset about. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not upset about the Mandarin because I understand like but like what I was gonna say wasn't Norman Osborn like the Iron Patriot in like one of the adaptations. I feel like he was something like that in other stories.
In the comic The Dark Avengers, he was like he had like I think he stole one of Iron Man's suits and he like modified it and like gave it that red, white, and blue paint job, and he's like, our Avengers is gonna be better, and we're gonna bring bad people to justice, and especially those mutants, because but it's like that's another thing they were trying to work on is the Thunderbolts. Like I know they're trying.
I don't even know anything about them. Like I know
Isn't
more
that the
about
guy-
the Power Pack than I do the Thunderbolts. that tells you
Well,
something.
isn't that
bunch
the
of
girl with the
anti-heroes,
really long
basically.
red hair? What's her name? Medusa
Elektra?
or something? Well,
Are you talking
in
about Elektra?
Thunderbolt. Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Thunderbolts is with Red Hulk.
Red Hulk, Elektra. I know Punisher joined that team.
Yeah.
I think Agent Venom as well.
Okay.
It's like a bunch of anti-heroes.
Yeah, and it's
Maybe that's what they'll do with the
characters we
symbiote.
Haven't
They'll-
even seen yet.
Maybe that's what they'll do with the symbiote. They'll just have the symbiote take over Flash and make Agent Venom.
No, because this Flash sucks.
Yeah.
I don't even see this guy going to the military.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Oh god.
I'm sorry,
I
but
hope
the
not.
Flash in No Way Home in the MCU movie
They have
sucks.
Winter Soldier in one of the Thunderbolts here with Black Widow.
Oh
too.
yeah, so for their lineup in the MCU is going to be Bucky,
Taskmaster. Yep.
Winter. What was his name? The Winter Soldier, not the Winter Soldier. The Red Guardian. Red Guardian.
Yep. Black Widow's sister, or
Yeah, I forget her
part
name.
sister.
And
The
then,
Ghost character. It
The
looks like.
Ghost.
And then Taskmaster, and then
Taskmaster.
the bad Captain America from Winter
Oh,
Soldier.
Agent. What
And
was
then
it
there's
called?
one
Agent
of
something.
Agent. Yeah.
You mean
and then
US
there's
agent?
one other woman. it
Yeah,
looks
U.S.
like.
Agent. And then
She
there
has-
was
she has,
I
like,
forget what
black
her
hair.
name is. She's from Seinfeld.
Okay, yeah. So that's the
She's-
7 that they have.
She plays
set up for
Elaine
that.
from Seinfeld. I forget her actual name, but like she's supposed to be like their Nick
Oh,
Fury.
okay. All right. From Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
But-
their setup for Thunderbolts.
But it's just like,
Interesting.
and they're supposed to have Harrison Ford take over and play as General Ross because
I thought you were gonna say Indiana Jones.
No, God, that Indiana Jones is dead in the water at this point. Oh my God, that last
Yeah,
movie.
I couldn't even. I turned it on. I'm like, I can't anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Honestly,
I know we're-
like looking at it, I think just because I feel like it's good to like end this off on a high note. We know like a bunch of the characters we like that are in there. What is the current team of characters that you would specifically have right now in the MCU? How would you guys think about fixing the current state of the MCU and like creating lead characters and such for it? Because at the state that we're in it right now, this ain't it.
It seems like, well, Spider-Man, of course, he's definitely got to be one of the main guys for, like, if they do another Avengers or something. You're saying?
Yeah.
depending if
Moon
Sony is playing ball with them.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth seems like he still wants to stick around as Thor, so I'm cool with that. Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, I don't know. I mean, if they throw in X-Men, you could have Wolverine get thrown in there because he was always like a big part of the Avengers that he was never.
Yeah, the new
in there.
Avengers.
Yeah. Who else do we got? I guess Ant-Man would be sticking around because Paul Rudd probably wants to continue to play him. Who am I missing? They should get Blade in there. Doctor Strange is still
Daredevil?
around. Daredevil would be good to be in there
Daredevil
too.
would be cool to see him interact with more characters.
Yeah.
I mean,
She-Hulk.
he already interacted with Spider-Man and She-Hulk.
Yeah, and She-Hulk they were trying with. I don't know if they can fix it.
Hulk just isn't the same, man.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
Hulk just ain't gonna work.
He's
And
not the
She-Hulk
same
just
anymore.
no. I'm gonna I hate She-Hulk. No.
I'm trying to see Scarlet. I don't know about Scarlet.
I don't
mean,
even think she's
oh,
dead.
What are we gonna do with White
Shang-Chi.
Vision?
Shang-Chi. Do
Whatever
something
happened to White Vision?
to White Vision. He went to go look for the
White
ship.
Vision,
He went to go look for the ship of Theses.
No, what he did was that he went to go get some milk and never came back.
We got Shuri as Black Panther. I'm fine with.
Yeah, but
Captain
even then, here's the
Marvel
thing:
is
you
probably
can't really
gonna
do a
stick
lot
around.
with when it comes to Black Panther, like the Black Panther, because a lot of those stories, when it comes to them, are grounded unless they have to like get their assistance for something for like an Avengers level threat. They don't have a lot. We don't want to have a lot of these crazy high standard Avengers level threat. So by introducing Wakanda, having Wakanda involved, it already entices the need for that type of stake. We can't have
Yeah.
that.
Black Widow's sister, I like. She'd be cool to be in it too, because she's pretty much like Black Widow.
I say stop all the grand end of the universe, multiverse crap. Go back
Go to
to
the
smaller
underground.
stories, and
Yeah.
I say go back they used to do, origin stories, and set up a story one at a time.
Yep,
I feel
yep.
like with Fantastic Four, you could do X-Men, have smaller characters, villains that we can get to know on a personal level. Doctor Doom, I would really like to
That's
see.
the next main villain. Like
Make him.
Thanos.
You know what? I say this: if you're going to introduce a villain, make him like a hero, and then get into his motivations, and then build him up and see his like character turns and becomes a villain.
I kind of
'Cause
feel like
Dr.
they're doing
Doom-
something like that with Kang because you have the good versions of Kang and the bad versions of him.
But yeah, but with the allegations and everything that's going on,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I'm
thought he
gonna
got.
have to
I thought he
scrap
got
his
cleared of the
character.
dang nabbit. Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
sometimes
Marvel is
that's
like,
just
oh,
a-
we don't want that because of bad publicity.
Yeah,
But if they're
exactly.
gonna go with Doctor Doom, I say introduce him with Doctor Strange, have him as like a partner, help him like dig through that humanity inside Doctor Doom because he wants to. His mother was a gypsy, and I think she sold her soul to Mephisto. So you could do something with that with Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom are like practicing magic, and he's studying, science and crap like that. Tie that into the Fantastic Four movie, gets his face burned and everything. You could do some things with that,
Yeah.
That would be really interesting, but who knows?
I
Probably
can't.
won't happen.
You can't. Here's. Yeah, you know what? It's like the more I think about it, it's like you're right. We don't have a like a continuous main character here. Like Iron Man was
Yeah.
the Iron Man and Captain America. They were like the guys that were holding the MCU together.
Make Doctor Doom the anti-Iron Man. We get to know he'll be like, we get to see like his backstory. We feel bad for him. We want to see him win. We want to see him like be able to like rule his country and be able to like become a leader. But then we see it takes a dark turn because of that that hate he has with Reed Richards and
Yeah.
him trying to be better and trying to achieve that.
Try to
man has
humanize
ever-
him first. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So then you kind of side with him, and then some people might turn with him, and
the
then you
only
have
time
other
we've
people saying like,
humanized
"Whoa."
some of our villains was like in Shang-Chi and Spider-Man. I don't know anything else, like, I mean,
you're not wrong.
I think Marvel MCU has very much forgot like their roots. They forgot
Yeah.
where they came from.
Yeah, they're and if they keep going this route, I feel like it's not going to be good for them. So
No.
hopefully they can turn it around. We can get some of these like you were saying, X-Men, Fantastic Four, get Doctor Doom in the picture.
What it
There's
is-
just so much.
This is, you know what? Now, the more that I think about it, this is how I see it. The problem is that we don't have any characters, and it's not necessarily leading the MCU. Like I already said that. I mean, we need a character that causes other characters to react to them in a specific way that naturally ties all of the characters as they currently have accumulated, because that we don't have that sort of tie-in. I think Kang was supposed to be the type of character that makes it to where all of these different like Avengers and such, they gather together and they team up. But I think that what we really need is like, because Tony Stark, it was because of Tony Stark that Ultron was made. It was because of Tony Stark that the Avengers had a base to stick to. It was because of Tony Stark that it was because of Tony Stark's perspective that we were also teased and such of Thanos and how that was going to connect later to the MCU. Like a lot of that, a lot of the character arc of Tony Stark was what led what was giving hints and such to the later MCU movies. Now, because of the fact that we don't really have that same sort of central character, and again it ties back to it being the lead character, where all of these events tie to them in a specific way. it's like we don't understand the plan. We don't even feel like they're going anywhere. It's like we have no idea where they're going. We don't feel like that we're being led to something. Like it doesn't have that same interest that is built up.
Yeah.
Like what the hell are they gonna do next? Like you did when it came to Infinity War and Endgame and all this other things with the characters. They have like their own story arcs, but it doesn't. I don't feel like they're doing a good enough job. I think of really thinking about like what they're gonna do in the future. Because if you want people to actually be invested in the future of the MCU, you have to give people more reasons to be invested than just an after credit scene. You have to have that being built into the story that you're trying to do. That's why I feel like Kevin Feige just really has not been hands-on when it came to like how a bunch of the stuff has been going on. He's just kind of been letting a bunch of writers do their own thing. Like you said, he had to fire a bunch of writers because of how that stuff is going on. And now they're because of like. Wait, he had to fire a bunch of writers because of the what was the reason why he had to fire a bunch of writers? It was because the current state. They brought about the current state of the MCU.
On Daredevil and Blade. Daredevil because they wanted to kill off some characters, and then they had to bring. I think might bring on the people from Logan. I believe. Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure.
What, the writers?
Yeah, the writers. I believe
that could be good.
Don't quote me on that. And then for Blade is because Blade was not even a main character.
That's like what Todd McFarlane wants to do. He was reduced to a side
character.
He wants to make the two detectives the main characters and Spawn like a side character. It's like, what? Mm-hmm. People want to see Spawn, not the skinny detective and the fat guy detective.
That's like making a Batman movie, but making Commissioner Gordon the main character.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, what? But any final thoughts on this between any of you?
You gotta do better, MCU.
Yeah, that's the real thing. That's the real story. Everyone at the MCU needs to do better.
They really do. Like what I'm saying, the stuff they've been putting out just doesn't pique my interest to make me want to go see it. The last thing that it was Moon Knight, and that was a Disney Plus series. That wasn't even a movie. The last movie I saw or really wanted to see was No Way Home. The last one I saw was Doctor Strange in theaters, but... Mm-hmm. That one I wasn't like, I gotta see it. I just saw it because it's like, a new MCU.
And it's like also because there was Sam Raimi too, and there was rumors like, is Tobey Maguire gonna be in it? Like because of connections to Spider-Man. That obviously that didn't happen. Yeah. But because of the names and such involved in there, you were thinking, they're gonna do something when they didn't. But yeah.
I don't want any more fan service. I just want a nice story.
What the MCU needs is to give us a reason to care. That's what we like. We don't give a shit about anything. Like the first phase 1 and phase 2, they did good. They did a good job of making us give a shit. Now we just don't. They're not leading to anything. So
it's sad.
It's sad. And as much as the fact that I know a lot of people don't really like Age of Ultron, the thing about it is that because of the fact that movie exists, it delayed the effect that Thanos had. It actually made a lot of like the other stuff get like heavily built up over time, which led to the anticipation of Endgame and make everyone just heavily interested in what they did. I am very happy about that.
It was still entertaining. It wasn't horrible. But it was the least best out of all the Avenger movies.
Yeah, well, ultimately, the Age of Ultron did, I think, help set up a lot of that character arcs. It's basically because, with
a lot of things that happened in the film had a ripple effect and caused a lot of ramifications effects for other characters.
Yeah, like Civil War, the villain in that.
Yeah, and even Tony Stark being like, that thing up there, that's the end game. So yeah, there you go. Like all the conversations between him and
it
Steve.
Really was the end game.
It really was the end game. All right. With that being said, let us know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below of the current state of the MCU. What will you guys do in order to fix this stuff up? And yeah, just like I hope to read your comments, help to see what's in there. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this wonderful episode of the Plastic Power Podcast. We'll see you guys in the comment section.
Wait, what's the Doctor Strange thing he does?
Wait,
I'm doing it with one finger.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys later. I can use that effect.